Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad had a back and forth on Twitter. It began with Belal sharing a tweet posted by Spinning Backfist, which announced that the UFC was returning to London on March 18th. Belal captioned the tweet with, "See you there." To this, Spinning Backfist replied with, "Contract signed?" Belal then replied, "I signed, just waiting for Leon." Edwards then got involved and replied to Belal saying, "Shut up, you bum. You ain't getting a title shot." Jared Gordon believes he can walk away with some of Paddy's recent stardom with a win this weekend at UFC 282. Here's the clip.
Now you have a guy that a lot of people are going to tune in to see, and that puts you in the spotlight that way. Do you look at it like that, and that maybe you beat him, you take some of his shine?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go in there and do what I gotta do. Like, perfect example, right? Masvidal versus Darren Till. Look what happened to it seemed like they were going towards, all right, this is Till's night, and then Masvidal did what he did, and then it was like, all right, let's make him into a superstar now. So yeah, that's what I have to do, and that's what's gonna happen.
Daniel Cormier and Ryan Clark discussed the return of Darren Till, where he'll take on Driscus du Plessis this weekend at UFC 282. Here's what the pair had to say.
Consistency, because it's not like Darren Till has not fought really high-level competition well, right? Darren Till was at one point fighting for the welterweight championship of the world, went up to 185, fought Robert Whittaker in a very competitive fight. We know how good Robert Whittaker is, but we need to see consistency.
What do you guys think about this matchup? Will we see Darren Till return to the win column this weekend, or will du Plessis prove to be too much? Let us know in the comment section below. Magomed Ankalaev is set to face off against Jan Blachowicz this weekend at UFC 282 for the light heavyweight title. Ankalaev has stated in a recent interview that Glover Teixeira turned down a chance to fight him because he was scared. Most of you know that Teixeira was the first option to fight Ankalaev, however Teixeira turned down the fight as he said he needed more time to prepare for a southpaw fighter. Ankalaev said, "I don't know why he didn't accept the fight, but hey, if I was him, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't accept this fight too. Because I'm in my prime, I'm only going up. I'm dangerous." He doesn't want to be in trouble, He's scared, actually. I believe he's scared, so this is the reason I believe he didn't accept the fight. Sean O'Malley says he doesn't believe James Krause was actually fixing fights as much as he was just giving out insider knowledge on potential results.
It sucks because I don't think he was intentionally setting up fights. Hey, go out there, lose. He'll go out there, win. I think he was taking the knowledge he had from the specific fighters and betting on fights and telling his fans, his people, hey, this is what I think. I don't think
I'm trying to think if I would do that if I knew. And there was a bunch of people who trusted me for betting on fights, and you're really hurt. Would I go in there and say, hey,
my boy's hurt,
make this bet? I don't
Sugar's
think I would.
It's definitely not. I mean, yeah, it definitely wasn't a smart thing.
Yeah.
But was it intentional, crime?
So they subpoenaed, and I think subpoena means
they take
all of thing. They're gonna read every email, all.
So might come out. Maybe other fighters involved. Maybe other coaches involved.
And who knows what that the kid, the Derek Minner? I'm sure it's not, but who knows? He could have been like, my knee up.
I'm making $12,000.
I'm making $12,000. There's a good chance I'm gonna get cut. He could have betted him against himself even. He goes out there with his bad leg and throws a kick with his bad leg. The first strike.
Yeah, that should be easy. That should be easy to find out, though. They subpoenaed everything. They have all that information. They should be able to find that out.
Driscus du Plessis spoke about the recent changes at the top of his division.
There's obviously been a bit of a shakeup at the top of your division. You have a new champion. Khamzat might even come up. He's talking about that. Alex Pereria said he'd fight Khamzat at 205 in Brazil. So what do you make of the new champion and all of this new addition at the top?
If Khamzat is such a badass, I'll fight anyone, anytime, any weight. Why didn't he just fight the champ at 205? You know what I'm saying? So, that's a big relevance game that he's playing, even though he is a very relevant guy in the UFC at the moment. He's not going to get a title shot. Well, he shouldn't. I mean, if that's what the company decides, it is what it is. That's not my concern. I said it. What happens at the top right now, at the titles, that's not my concern. I'll worry about that when I get there. Right now, what I'm concerned about is getting into that conversation. So whether they fight about who gets the bone, I come and I take it anyway, that's all I'm concerned about. So, big shake-up with the champion change. That was one of those fights where I always have a prediction on fights. Like, it's tough, and it's tough fights to call. But with this fight, it was one of those fights where I had pros and cons for both guys, and it was so back and forth. Even me and my friends, me and the team spoke, and it was really one of those special MMA fights where you just had to wait and see what happens.
Darren Till talks about the possibility of a fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Colby Covington.
Dana says he wants Khamzat versus Colby. I'm curious what you think that fight would look like, and what would the trash talk look like? Is Khamzat the kind of guy who can hear what Colby says and not run across the stage?
I think that's a very good fight. I do, because people don't see a lot of Colby like in the news and media, but I know he's a guy who in secret trains really hard, and I know he's really disciplined. I think if them two to fight, I think Khamzat would be he'd overpower him. I do think I believe his striking's better, and I think when it comes to the wrestling, I do think he'd be the powerful one. But obviously, it'd be over 5 rounds. He'd have to be fully prepared. The trash talk as well. His English is getting phenomenally better. Obviously, me and him speak on the daily, so he's got that Scouse twang, hasn't he? So yeah, it'd be a good fight. It would be a really good fight.
Paddy the Baddy recently had Dana White on the most recent episode of his podcast. The pair went on to blast Ariel Helwani, stating that he's a content creator and not an MMA journalist. Here's the clip.
I hate all these journalists, especially the ones what earn off us, know what I mean? Like Ariel Helwani in particular, like he loves earning money off fighters. Yeah. Like every decent job he's had, he's been sacked from, know what I mean? Like, and now he's just a biased content creator. Yeah. Know what I mean? 100%. And he hates on you, hates on the UFC, he even hates on me now. Yeah. And it proper annoys me because he uses fighters for clicks, uses fighters to make money, and then tries to have the audacity to talk about the UFC and yourself, saying that they don't pay the fighters enough. Get your dough out, Ariel. Know what I mean? Start paying people for these interviews, what you make thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on. And I know that now because I make money off YouTube. So I know how much he earns off YouTube, off all his interviews, what he does. You're doing it for exposure. No, you're not. You're doing it to put money in your pocket, Ariel, you little rodent. Lads.
Woo! I just sat back and let that go. I didn't want to interrupt. He's a massive sack of is what he is.
Exactly.
He's the biggest piece of all time, and I couldn't have said it better.
He wanted, like, when I was in New York for the MSG card last year, he wanted me to do an interview with him. And I had a paid interview that day, and he wanted me to really let go of that paid interview to do an interview with him.
Right.
For BT Sport, what he's getting paid for. And he said, oh no, that's me journalist integrity. You're not a journalist no more.
Far from it.
You're a content creator, Ariel. You're not a journalist. Stop lying. You're very biased in what you do and what you say.
So true.
And he went on his MMA hour and talked about me and my manager. And then I ended up messaging him. They're going to have to bleep this out, but my first line was, you're a cheeky you.
Ariel responded to the insults from Paddy and Dana White.
Some of the blatant lies that were told in that little exchange between one Paddy Pimblett and Dana White. I honestly don't mind, and I don't get upset and I don't get down when people call me journalist, a bad host. What bothers me though is when people lie. That's what bothers me. I don't like when people lie. How am I profiting off of fighters? In a moment, you'll hear them talking about clicks and YouTube views and things of that nature. I have not earned a single penny from YouTube off of any of the MMA stuff that I put out there. And I stress MMA, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Not a single penny. This show, I don't earn a single dime off of any views from this show, any downloads off this show. This is the truth. You can either believe me or you can't. And if you don't, go ask the CEO of Vox Media, Jim Bankoff.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.